You know why some people wake up at 3 a.m. and feel something calling them? It's not the noise outside. It's not the phone vibrating on the nightstand. It's that quiet voice deep inside that says, "You're meant for more." That's the 3 a.m. rule. The hour when your mind is most honest, your excuses are asleep, and your potential whispers, "Get up." At 3 a.m., there's no one to impress, no audience, no distraction. Just you, your thoughts, and your truth. Most people hit the snooze button on that moment, not realizing that the greatest opportunities are hidden behind the silence they refuse to face. At 3 a.m., the world is asleep, but the successful are awake, not because they have to be, but because they choose to be. They understand something the rest of the world doesn't. Success doesn't shout during the day, it whispers at night, and those who listen to that whisper, those who rise when it's dark, they own the day when the light returns. The 3 a.m. rule isn't about waking up early. It's about waking up internally. It's about asking yourself the kind of questions that strip away comfort and expose truth. Who are you really? What do you really want? And what are you willing to do when no one is watching? Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about." But have you ever truly listened to what you think about at 3 a.m.? Those thoughts aren't filtered by society, not softened by entertainment, not distracted by noise. They're raw, they're real, they're the blueprint of your destiny. The 3 a.m. rule is the moment where your mind shows you what you could be if you had the courage to act, but most people run from it. They silence the thought with another hour of sleep, and in that decision, they trade potential for comfort. Think about it. Every great idea, every breakthrough, every transformation in history started when someone listened to that inner voice. The Wright brothers dreaming of flight when everyone laughed at them. Thomas Edison staying awake night after night, chasing light in the darkness. They didn't wait for inspiration at noon. They found it in the quiet hours when everyone else was asleep. That's the power of the 3 a.m. rule. It's when the mind is most creative, when the distractions fade, when the truth stands naked before you. And if you dare to look at it, really look, you'll see what you were born to do. Most people will never understand that success isn't about luck. It's about alignment. Aligning your thoughts, your actions, your purpose. And that alignment often begins when the world is silent at 3 a.m. You can't pretend, you can't hide behind your job, your friends, or your phone. The mask comes off, the lies dissolve. You see yourself, your habits, your fears, your potential, all in one frame. That's where change begins, because you cannot fix what you refuse to face. Earl Nightingale used to say that the difference between successful and unsuccessful people is simple. Successful people think differently. And what time do you think they do their deepest thinking? It's not during the rush of the day. It's not when notifications are popping off every second. It's when the world is still, when they can hear the quiet hum of their own thoughts. They use that time to design their future. They visualize, they plan, they align their minds with their mission. The 3 a.m. rule isn't a superstition. It's a mindset. It's the discipline to wake up before life demands you to. It's the hunger to prepare when no one expects you to. It's the willingness to sacrifice comfort for clarity. Because at 3 a.m. you can't lie to yourself. You either get up and move toward your dream, or you roll over and sink deeper into mediocrity. People say they want success, but how many are willing to meet it halfway in the silence of dawn? The 3 a.m. rule separates dreamers from doers. Everyone says they'll change their life one day. But one day never comes for those who wait for perfect conditions. The ones who rise at 3 a.m., they understand that the world doesn't owe them opportunity. They create it. They don't ask for time, they make time. When you wake up in the middle of the night and your mind starts racing with ideas, regrets, visions, that's not anxiety, that's awareness. That's the part of your soul that's tired of living beneath your potential. That's your greatness calling you out. The 3 a.m. rule says, when that call comes, answer it. Sit up, write, think, plan, reflect, build. Don't ignore it. Because every time you do, your potential fades a little more into the noise of the day. See, most people think success is built during working hours. It's not. Success is built in the hidden hours, the hours of preparation, learning, self-discipline, and reflection that nobody sees. That's why when morning comes, those who obey the 3 a.m. rule move differently. They speak differently. They are different. Because they've already faced themselves in the silence. They've already done the inner work. They've already fought their demons before sunrise. The world rewards those who prepare in the dark. Look around you. Every high performer, every visionary, every leader, they have their own version of the 3 a.m. rule. It's the time when they recharge, refocus, and realign. While others dream of success, they design it. While others talk about change, they become it. Earl Nightingale taught that your mind is like a field. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant fear, doubt, and hesitation, that's what you'll harvest. But if you plant faith, persistence, and clarity, your life will bloom. The 3 a.m. rule is your chance to sow the right seeds. It's your time to program your subconscious before the world interferes. That's why some of the most successful people in the world meditate, write, or visualize in those quiet hours. They're not chasing trends. They're training their minds. At 3 a.m., your brain waves slow down. Your subconscious is open. Your imagination is at its peak. You can rewire your thoughts, shape your beliefs, and build your identity. That's not motivation. That's science. And those who understand it use it to their advantage. They don't waste that time scrolling or complaining. They use it to evolve. You want to change your life? Follow the 3 a.m. rule. Not because it's trendy, but because it's timeless. It's the hour of truth. The hour where your potential whispers, get up. And if you listen long enough, that whisper becomes a roar. At 3 a.m., you learn what discipline truly is. Not the kind that looks good on social media, but the kind that demands sacrifice. You learn that real growth is quiet. It doesn't post, it doesn't brag, it just builds. It's the long nights, the early mornings, the unseen efforts. That's where greatness hides. Earl Nightingale believed that success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means success isn't a destination, it's a direction. The 3 a.m. rule helps you steer that direction, because when the world is asleep, you can hear your purpose clearer. You can adjust your path. You can remind yourself why you started. Some people wake up early out of routine, others wake up early out of vision. The difference is the fire inside. The 3 a.m. rule isn't about alarm clocks. It's about awareness. It's about understanding that time is your greatest asset, and wasting it is the greatest sin. Every hour you sleep through your potential, someone else is using it to surpass you. When you rise at 3 a.m., you're not just ahead of the world, you're ahead of yourself. You're breaking your own limits. You're proving to your mind that you are in control. You're saying, I will no longer live by default, I will live by design. And that shift, that single decision, changes everything. Think about your biggest dream for a moment, the thing you've been putting off, the thing you say you'll do when the time is right. The 3 a.m. rule tells you the time is now. There will never be a perfect moment. You make the moment perfect by acting in it. And when that alarm rings or when your eyes open before dawn, remember this. That's not fatigue. That's destiny knocking. You can ignore it and fall back asleep, or you can rise and meet it head on, because the universe rewards those who move with intention. The 3 a.m. rule is not a punishment. It's a privilege. It's the sacred space between who you are and who you could become. It's where dreams are converted into blueprints, and blueprints into reality. It's where you discover the real you, the focused, relentless, unstoppable version that daytime distractions hide. Every time you rise at 3 a.m. with purpose, you're rewriting your story. You're separating yourself from the average. You're proving that your commitment is stronger than your comfort. And that's the difference between wishing for success and becoming it. Because here's the truth. Success doesn't start with money or fame or opportunity. It starts with a decision. The decision to listen to that voice at 3 a.m. and do something about it. It starts when you stop negotiating with your excuses and start aligning with your vision. At 3 a.m., there's no applause, no validation, no audience. Just you and the question that will define your life. Are you willing to do what others won't so you can live like others can't? That's the 3 a.m. rule. That's the path of the few, and that's where transformation begins. When the sun rises and the world begins to move, the 3 a.m. believer already stands tall. While others are still wiping the sleep from their eyes, you've already conquered your first battle of the day, the battle against your own comfort. That's what most never understand. The hardest war you'll ever fight is the one inside your mind. And every morning at 3 a.m., that war begins again. Your bed whispers, stay. Your dreams whisper, go. And the one you listen to defines who you become. Every morning you choose comfort over purpose, you strengthen your weakness. Every morning you rise despite fatigue, you strengthen your will. The 3 a.m. rule teaches you that success is not about talent or luck, it's about consistency. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, working when no one is watching, and believing when no one else does. You can't fake that. You can't post that. That's earned in silence. Earl Nightingale understood this long before social media, before the noise, before the distractions. He said, our attitude toward life determines life's attitude toward us. That means the way you approach each day determines what the day gives back to you. When you wake up early, when you take charge, when you start your day with purpose, you tell life, I'm ready. And life listens. It rewards action. It respects discipline. It honors persistence. The 3 a.m. rule isn't for everyone. It's not glamorous. It's not comfortable. But it's powerful. Because those hours between night and dawn, they belong to the doers, the thinkers, the creators, the builders, the ones who don't just wish for a better life. They design it. They understand that peace doesn't come from sleeping longer. It comes from living aligned with your purpose. Imagine this. It's 3 in the morning, the sky is dark, the world is silent, and it's just you, sitting there, eyes open, mind awake, heart burning with something bigger than excuses. That's when real transformation happens. That's when ideas are born. Books are written, businesses are built, bodies are transformed, and minds are sharpened, not in the crowd, not in the noise, but in the solitude of that hour. The 3 a.m. rule is a mirror. It shows you who you are when no one else is watching. If you're lazy, it will reveal it. If you're hungry, it will prove it. If you're disciplined, it will multiply your results. Because how you treat those unseen hours determines how the world will treat your seen success. Every hour you give to your dream when no one's watching is an investment that compounds when everyone is. The truth is, most people won't get it. They'll call you obsessed. They'll say you're crazy. They'll ask why you do it. But that's because they don't hear what you hear. They don't feel what you feel. They haven't experienced that voice that shakes you awake at 3 a.m. and says you're meant for more. And that's fine because your vision was given to you, not them. Earl Nightingale believed that a person's environment is a reflection of their thoughts. Change your thoughts and you change your world. And what better time to shape your thoughts than at 3 a.m. When your mind is quiet, uncluttered, pure? That's when you can rewire everything. Your mindset, your beliefs, your future. It's your chance to remove the weeds of fear and plant the seeds of greatness. Some people pray at 3 a.m. Some people plan. Some people grind. All of them are building. Because at that hour, energy shifts. The noise of the world fades, and the energy of purpose rises. If you've ever been awake at that hour, you know it. That strange stillness that feels almost sacred. It's not just another moment in time. It's the birthplace of greatness. The 3 a.m. rule is not about hustling without rest. It's about mastering awareness. It's about knowing when your mind is strongest, when your ideas are clearest, and using that time to shape your destiny. Some people work best late at night, some at dawn. The point is, honor the time when your soul speaks the loudest. Because in that quiet conversation between you and your purpose, life gives you the answers you've been seeking all along. When you rise at 3 a.m., you begin to notice things others don't. You start seeing patterns in your habits, your emotions, your results. You realize how much time you've wasted, how many excuses you've built, how much potential you've left untouched. And it stings at first, but that's good because that pain is clarity. That's your mind saying, now you see every champion has a 3 a.m. story. The athlete training before dawn, the writer filling blank pages while the world sleeps, the entrepreneur sketching plans in the dark. These people understood something simple. If you want an uncommon life, you must live with uncommon discipline. The 3 a.m. rule isn't about proving anything to others. It's about proving to yourself that your will is stronger than your comfort. The problem with most people is that they want the sunrise without the darkness. They want success without sacrifice. But you can't skip the night. You can't skip the silence. You can't skip the work that nobody claps for. That's where strength is born. That's where your foundation is built. The 3 a.m. rule is also about control. Control over your mind, your emotions, your time. You can't control the world, but you can control yourself. And when you take control of your mornings, you take control of your destiny. Every time you rise early with purpose, you strengthen your discipline muscle. And that muscle will carry you through every challenge life throws your way. There's something about the silence of 3 a.m. that strips away all illusions. It doesn't care about who you pretend to be during the day. It only shows you who you truly are. The discipline you lack, the fears you hide, the goals you keep postponing. It's an X-ray for your soul. And if you dare to face it, if you dare to listen, it will change you forever. Earl Nightingale once said, "Your world is a living expression of how you are using and have used your mind." The 3 a.m. rule is the time to shape that expression. It's the time to clean your mental lens, to focus your energy, to design your reality. Because once the day starts, the noise returns, and your focus is stolen by the world. That's why 3 a.m. is sacred. It's your mental sanctuary, untouched by the chaos of life. The 3 a.m. rule is not a schedule. It's a signal that says, I'm done living reactively. It's the declaration that you will no longer wait for the world to wake you up. You'll wake yourself up. You'll set the tone. You'll set the pace. Because when you take charge of the first hours of your day, you take charge of every hour that follows. You'll notice something strange when you start obeying the 3 a.m. rule. You'll stop chasing motivation. You won't need loud music or flashy quotes to get moving. You'll be driven by something deeper, a quiet burning conviction, the kind that doesn't fade, the kind that builds empires. At 3 a.m., when you're sitting alone and your dream feels impossible, remember, that's where every legend began, alone, tired, doubtful, but moving anyway. Because the 3 a.m. rule isn't about feeling ready, it's about doing it anyway. It's about acting with faith before the results appear. That's what separates the great from the good. They act while others hesitate. You'll fail sometimes. You'll question why you're doing it. You'll wonder if it's worth it. But remember, the 3 a.m. rule isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about being a little better, a little stronger, a little more committed each day, because those small efforts, multiplied over time, create unstoppable momentum. Earl Nightingale said, "Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it." The time will pass anyway, and that's the truth. Time doesn't stop. The clock keeps ticking whether you sleep through it or use it. The question is, when the clock strikes 3 a.m., what are you doing with it? Are you sleeping on your potential, or are you rising to meet it? The 3 a.m. rule is a reminder, not that you have to wake up early, but that you must wake up fully. Wake up to your potential. Wake up to your purpose. Wake up to the fact that the world will only value you as much as you value your own time. And there is no greater time to reclaim your power than in those silent hours before the world begins. Because when you master the 3 a.m. rule, you don't just rise early, you rise different. You rise focused. You rise prepared. You rise unstoppable. And that, more than anything, is the true secret of success.